First video we're gonna be reacting to is a J. Cote video.
Let me tell you a story. A story
Falling out of love with Star Wars lock-in.
About the Star Wars. A story about rich and timeless characters like Luke, Han, Leia, Anakin Skywalker.
W. Anakin.
Gaper Bingzoid. These characters were part of a narrative.
Is that real or did he make that up, chat? Because I know he's made up characters. Is Gaper Bingzoid a real character? Like,
a narrative that had purpose and intentionality. They were about stuff. Good versus evil. Romance. The growth and establishment of fascism and tyranny.
They really sold General Hux. He had so much aura, and they just ruined it.
Can happen in plain sight. In the asymmetric battle of those who refuse to live under its boot heel.
I know I'm pausing a lot. Can I just say respectfully, the Battle of Endor is kind of goofy? Is that ridiculous to say? It's slightly goofy.
The US and Iraq.
Either you are with us, or you are with the terrorists.
If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
That's
Back in the day, you might even say, a long time ago, before our favorite stories were relegated to an endless wave of low-effort slop streaming shows, Star Wars was movies. It was so long ago that I know it's hard to believe, but when a Star Wars movie released,
aside from obviously The Mandalorian that just came out, I didn't realize that we literally haven't had a Star Wars film since 2019. Which, am I the only person who The Rise of Skywalker being from 2019 just doesn't feel right? I feel like The Rise of Skywalker is from like 2022 or something, not 2019. Holy shit, I'm unk.
It was a massive event. You could feel it.
Have you felt it?
And when you were in the theater, you did feel it.
Turn off the flash, you fucking moron!
You felt something.
That's a peak video.
Sometimes there's the wide-eyed
Indoor battle
joy
is
of
peak.
adventure.
It is peak, but it's a little goofy. I'm sorry.
That our larger-than-life characters were not infallible, but that there was always a glimmer of hope to those that persevere. It could be a feeling of tragedy, a destined fall that you know is coming but are powerless to stop. It could even be a new but familiar beginning or a complete subversion. Sometimes you would sit in awe that a movie could be so well crafted with so much love and inspiration behind the lens. Sometimes you would sit in awe that what you were watching could be so bad.
They fly now!
That something so asinine got through so many so-called...
This scene pisses me off so much. This scene is so stupid. The ancient Sith blade lining up with the Death Star ruins. First of all, why are there Death Star ruins in the first place, and how is it lining up?
Professionals and was actually released to the public.
Oh!
Sometimes you laughed, cried, were embarrassed, were pissed off, thrilled, or saddened. Even at its worst, Star Wars made you feel something. That's why, after returning to the silver screen after 7 years, that the sin that this Star Wars movie committed is the most unforgivable. It made me feel absolutely nothing.
Facts. The movie, it's the most 5 out of 10 mid-movie I've ever seen. And I'm sure he'll get into it, so I'll discuss it more later. But that's so real.
So I'm going to get into my thoughts on the new Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, as well as how I've been feeling about Star Wars as a whole. And when I talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu, I'm going to talk about some stuff that happens in the movie. So technically, I guess this is a spoiler review. Take that as you will. It doesn't really matter,
Chad, if you haven't seen the movie by now, that's on you, brother. It's been way too long.
Nothing happens in this movie. Genuinely, without a hint of exaggeration.
Facts.
The episodes in the show The Book of Boba Fett that feature The Mandalorian are more integral to the story of these characters than this movie. Nothing changes for them, nothing develops.
Literally nothing happens the whole movie. And I know what people will say, like, it's a Mandalorian movie, you shouldn't expect anything, and that's fair. It's like, I wanted it to be a fun movie, but you can be a fun movie and still have good writing. Like, it's not a either or. Like, the amount of excuses we make for Star Wars is actually devious. Like, we're so used to, like, The Rise of Skywalker literally, like, ruining the movies before it because it was so bad and, like, literally brought Palpatine back that we're happy that we just have a bad movie that doesn't, like, ruin anything else. Like, the standard is in the garbage.
Don't even hint at a backstory or a hint of a character trait. That would be new information when it comes to these two characters. But that's the thing. They aren't characters. They haven't been characters since The Mandalorian Season 2. They're nothing.
Mandalorian Season 2 finale. was peak, and they ruined it with season 3.
But mascots and merchandising. Every
Facts.
single review of this movie sounds like this. Star Wars is back, and it's more fun than ever. Is it good? Let me put it this way. Baby Grogu is freaking cute. Guys, not every movie needs to be good. Some can be just for fun. Guys, we shouldn't
all the like teaser clips too, they like show them on the screen. They're literally all like this. It's actually crazy.
Criticize it because Star Wars is back in movie theaters. It's just for kids anyway, and kids are so stupid. They don't care if a movie is good or bad. I, for one, am thankful to Dave Filoni. He made a movie with Star Wars in the title. Did I mention how fun it is? And the
Dave Filoni's starting to piss me off just a little bit. He's still my goat. He needs to calm down with just the random alien cameos, and also his 2 cameos in this film that he put in himself to put him in the, you're not Stan Lee. Calm your ass down.
Whole thing about, oh, it's just for kids is so pathetic. You know what else are kids' movies? Every Star Wars movie ever made. Let's have a bit of a higher standard here, huh? Star Wars captured my imagination when I was a kid. This will only capture their attention. So let's get started. When exploring alien planets, roaming fees can get insane. And sometimes there's no Wi-Fi spots in sight. That's why I bet the Mandalorian and Baby Grogu had access to today's sponsor, Sailing. Stormtroopers. It even takes down 2 or 3 AT-ATs just single-handedly. This scene is fine, and it does its job of being an exciting opening to get you on board and prove to the audience that there's a little more budget maybe than the TV show. But there's no stakes or like anything to engross you because there's nothing at risk here. The Mandalorian is way too overpowered.
Facts. Literally the entire opening scene, like, it looks great and it's cool, but I am tired of the Empire being shown as just complete bozos. Like, every film now, aside from Rogue One, and there's a reason Rogue One was so universally liked, because the Empire is actually a threat and people die, okay? When the Mandalorian takes out 3 AT-ATs by himself without even a scratch, okay? You don't feel anything. It's just like, you know he's gonna be fine, and the Empire is shown as just bumbling Disney idiots, dude. Like, I'm tired of it. Give the Stormtroopers some aura, please.
He can't be hurt. He literally has invincibility armor. Since I think like season 2 of the show, this has been a issue with this character. Basically, he built his entire suit out of something called Beskar.
What does the sub even do?
Beskar
you get the emotes and you watch.
To all
there's no
blaster
ads.
fire and lightsabers and basically anything. So it doesn't matter if he's fighting 3 stormtroopers or 50 stormtroopers or 3 entire walkers, which was like the same amount that caused a desperate fight in The Empire Strikes Back for an entire rebellion base. It's like playing GTA with invincibility.
When you gonna play Battlefront 2?
So even if the action is decently well
watch
done,
this video
I
one
still
other and then I'll
don't
play.
feel anything. Outside of one scene where he needs to get injured by this dragon snake for plot purposes, which is kind of
the scene was kind of
the
tough.
only like exciting scene in the movie. He's
Facts.
playing the game on God mode, and you know nothing bad is gonna happen to Baby Grogu. Then they get picked up by Zeb. Dave Filoni.
This movie would be peak if Baby Grogu just got slimed out. I'm just saying. It would go to at least a 7 out of 10 for me.
Filoni is way too attached to all these characters that he created in his animated shows. He just throws anyone he can into the live action here. No one who hasn't watched Rebels knows who the Zeb is, and they don't try to explain it. When you make a movie, you have to give me characters. This isn't a character. More egregiously is that there's also another bounty hunter.
The Zeb scene did have aura where he's like climbing on the roof or like the ceiling and sliming out the, so that was kind of tough. I can't lie.
That Mando faces off with. And they get no characterization. Not one single line to explain who they are or what they want.
I didn't mind that. I kind of liked that Imbo just didn't say Jack the whole movie. I thought it worked with his character very well, to be honest. And he's also my favorite character of the film. Imbo is the best part of this film, and it's not even close. It's not even close, because you actually feel scared for the Mandalorian when this brother appears, okay? Literally, he takes out the Mandalorian, like, easily in the first scene that he appears in the movie.
What are their motivations? They just show up in the movie and then exit the movie. Who is that? Yes,
ridiculous.
if you've seen the Clone Wars, you say, oh, that's Embo. I know that. But this is not how you write a
Chat,
movie.
the music was
I've
good,
seen so
I
many
thought.
people online say that this is a great new entry point for the franchise. And I cannot disagree more. Excluding baby toddlers spitting up on their bib, if this is your first Star Wars movie, you will be confused and bored out of your mind. Not because the plot is hard to follow or anything without prior Star Wars knowledge, but just because if you've never watched any of the animated shows, you won't have the tiny rush of your synapses firing when you see a character that you recognize, which is the only thing that
That's why Dave Filoni's going off the rails a little bit. He's relying so heavily on, like, his designs without, like, just having a good story to go with it. In live action, at least, respectfully.
characters in this movie have to offer you. And I know that's ironic considering...
What did I ignore?
The Jinky Minus
Oh,
Gaper
tap everything for the bits,
and
Poppy.
Yes, I love Glup
Thank you for the
Shitos,
bits.
okay? I've made plenty of videos about these butt fartos, okay? I love that. But that's just the sauce, okay, of Star Wars. The texture, the spice. It's not the main thing. Glup Shitos should never be the main thing. There also needs to be a movie. Even when they're forced to do a pit fight in front of an audience, it's a callback to the original movie. It's a Dejeric match. So all the creatures they fight are the original chessboard creatures that we saw on
Stop
board
calling
the
me
Millennium
Alec Nor,
Falcon. They
chat.
even
I'm
have
trying
the
to
one
react
do
to the
his
video.
slam in exactly the
So
same way as we
please.
saw in that movie. Remember in
That was
Attack of the Clones when they did this exact same scene, except they actually introduced 3 new monster designs that were all memorable in their own way because of the way they attacked and sounded. And Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Padme actually...
I didn't mind the scene. Look, Padme really has all white. She even has white shoes, chat. That's crazy. But I didn't mind the scene. I thought it was cool. I just kind of hated the Jabba character, whatever the hell his name is. Oh my god. I can't remember his name. The guy who the whole movie just goes, "I'm not my father. I'm not my father." He kind of ruined the movie for me. His dialogue was so painfully bad that it actually enraged me. But I thought the arena scene was fine, to be honest.
had to use their wits just to survive the encounter.
Rada pissed me
and
off,
it was one of the
chat.
best
He pissed
and
me
most
off. Whoever
exciting
wrote his
scenes
lines
in that movie.
should be
Instead,
banished.
here it's just noise. There's nothing to engage you. What if, like how Obi-Wan and Anakin had their lightsabers taken away, Mando had his armor taken away, and there was actual dramatic stakes?
Like when he plays a stormtrooper and the stormtroopers save him. Him and Mayfield are driving the transport. That is a peak episode. Because he has no guns, he has stormtrooper armor, he's having to fight people hand to hand, and he's getting his ass handed to him, but he barely makes it through. And then the stormtroopers save them. It's so peak.
And Pedro Pascal could actually come to set, and it could actually be a scene. But no. There's a scene later where basically the same thing happens. He gets put into a pit and has to fight a giant snake. It's the exact same scene as the Rancor pit in Return of the Jedi. The snake is a really cool and striking design, and he even lost his helmet for a second. So it's definitely a better scene the second time around, but it's also just rinse and repeat.
Holding your belt like Jabba the Hutt. Thanks,
do this
man.
almost exact same scene one act ago?
Appreciate it.
Plot-wise, there's nothing to follow because there's nothing to latch onto. There are hardly anything as basic as motivations at play. This is designed to exist and be as inoffensive as humanly possible. Nothing more. It's the type of shit that you throw on TV when
That's
it's already
what I'm saying, and people are liking it because they're like, well, it's not bad. Well, that's true, but it didn't even try to be good. Like, I'd almost rather a Last Jedi situation where there are some people that think The Last Jedi is like the greatest movie of all time. And like, I get it because they have a different opinion from me. I think that's egregiously wrong. I don't think The Last Jedi is a good Star Wars movie, but at least it tried to do something.
Halfway over while you're folding laundry or something. It's so disposable. And that is really the key word. We start off by giving Mando the Razor Crest back. Everything needs to be set back to the status quo. We cannot push these characters
true.
forward
That's weird,
in
too.
any
Why does he
way.
just have a
Remember
new
when his
ship that
ship
looks the
blew
exact
up?
same?
So we spent almost an entire episode just building a new Naboo cruiser for him to use? Forget that. Just give
Naboo
him his
ship
old
is
shit
tough.
back.
I'm
Because
not gonna
they
lie.
need to be held in stasis. They need to be able to sell merch
Candyman,
and toys of these
Candyman.
two in perpetuity. And for that reason, they can never meaningfully develop. This movie is nobody's passion project.
Holden, could you make a better movie than The Last Jedi? I sure as hell hope so.
The two stunt guys that wear the armor do a really good physical performance for this character. And then there's one scene in the movie where the helmet comes off and Pedro Pascal actually bothered to show up to set. And he actually did really well in that
how much
scene.
he was
but
actually
the rest
on
of the
set,
time,
probably, like,
the
hardly at
voice
all,
is
but
so phoned in, especially towards the end of the movie. His line reads were so void of emotion, it became laughable.
No, it's actually really bad. I hope he plays some of the lines because it's like, it's just bad acting. Like there's no emotion behind it. I don't know what it is.
The place is about to be bombed, and he's telling Rhoda and Grogu to get out of there. So he says, go. Telling them to leave, and he has no hint of desperation, void of emotion.
Go.
He just read some of these lines off the script like it was popcorn reading time. Jeremy Allen White plays Rhoda.
Oh my god, don't get me started. I'm not gonna get mad at him, but one, it doesn't sound like a Hutt at all. Perfect English with a New York accent, and all the dialogue is ass. Dude, it's so
and
bad.
he just uses his normal voice. He doesn't try to do anything. They add some effects to try and make him more slug-like, I guess, but otherwise it's just Jeremy Allen White reading off a script. Like he just recorded it on his voice memos and then texted it to Jon Favreau for the movie. And just so you know, Rhoda doesn't want to be like his dad. He wants to be his own man. Did you know it's hard to be Jabba the Hutt's son? They'll make sure you know that.
Who scored?
Because he says
I have
it
to bring up
3
the
or
games. Who
4
scored?
fucking times. It's
Holden,
like
when does the stream
placeholder
start?
dialogue.
I got crazy
because
news
this
for you,
movie's just
brother.
for kids, right? And kids are so
Brazil
fucking
scored.
stupid.
I knew it. I'm
Why
telling you,
bother
Brazil's gonna
trying?
rail them.
And there's no interesting
Jr., love
conflict
that.
to speak of. There was a scene where Mando brings Rhoda back to the New Republic, even though he was supposed to bring him to the Hutts so that they could exchange him for information. And Sigourney Weaver seems like she's about to reprimand him.
The plot was just a little boring, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I didn't mind it, I get it.
Which would have made him second guess if the New Republic is really all it's cracked up to be. Because they're compromising their morals somewhat by even making a deal with the Hutts in the first place. Then there would be some interest.
I do not like that the Mandalorian is just a chill, like, basically policeman for the New Republic. I feel like it would be more aura if he kind of disagreed. Kind of like he's saying. Like, I just don't like him going from, like, a gray character to just a fully, like, a full, just hero.
In conflict. Is it worth it for the greater good to do shady deals with characters like the Hutts? Or will Mando have to go against the New Republic in order to do what he personally thinks is right? No, oh no, she just says, good job, and then they move on. Nothing interesting can happen. No sauce, no seasoning, just
no
bland.
sauce.
Oh, thank you, can I just have the food? Just the flavorless food cubes, please. That's all I want. Nobody
That is how y'all
cares,
sound, I'm
and
not gonna
nobody
lie.
cares less than Jon Favreau. Look, Jon Favreau is a competent director and filmmaker. He does his job and he does it fine.
Jon
But he
Favreau
also
make
has
Elf?
absolutely no artistic vision. He
W
has
Mans
nothing
for that
to say. He might as well be filling out spreadsheets as opposed to making a movie. At least J.J. Abrams tries to do stuff. He likes movies.
I don't know, J.J. Abrams did bring back Palpatine. Force Awakens was good. I liked The Force Awakens. Is it a little cookie cutter? Yeah, but also it's a good, like, it's still a good movie.
I don't know. Obviously, J.J. Abrams almost single-handedly killed Star Wars.
Somehow Palpatine
Oh my
returned.
God.
And I'm definitely not saying that this
Hades
movie
scored.
is worse than The Rise of Skywalker. But at
Love
least The Rise of Skywalker was bad
Who's
in
Hades
a way
even playing?
that's fun to talk about. This is just mediocre to the point that it might as well
Damn,
not
over
exist.
Morocco?
Whether
That's
I just
big.
watched a movie or sat down and stared at the wall for 2 hours and 12 minutes, nothing would change. Nothing would be different in my life. What I'm saying is the inoffensiveness of this movie genuinely offended me. Why are we okay with this? Let's talk about baby Grogu in this movie. Introduced in the first Mando season.
The amount of baby Grogu merchandise and plushies and bullshit that I saw at the movie theater was off the charts, chat. It is so clear that this is a merchandise grab. That's what pisses me off more than anything. Not even the movie. It's just like the obvious motivation. It actually makes me angry.
when the show was still trying to be a space western and Mando actually had a backstory and character traits.
Palp's returning makes sense.
And was
Duck Twiggy, you are lost and
slightly
sauce.
morally gray. I'm not saying he was
Holden,
ever
are
like
you
Cassian
packing? Calm
Andor
down.
or something. But you know, he used to be a
My
bounty
goat.
hunter. Like, that was the idea. Now he's just a full-fledged member of the New Republic. I'm getting away from the task at hand. We were introduced to Baby Yoda in the first season. He didn't have a name yet. Everyone just called him Baby Yoda. Then in season 2, they decided to give him a name. Grogu. Which is so funny. The most bankable creation that Disney was ever able to conjure up since buying Star Wars, and they call the thing Grogu. Grogu is a puppet, and I love
don't mind
that about
Grogu.
him. They're able to
Makes
get a lot
sense.
of cute stuff
Can't even
out of
lie.
him. He waddles around, has little noises, does cute stuff like holding a cup, and then occasionally he uses his impressive force powers to get them out of a jam. That's Grogu.
That was a good scene.
That's what he's been ever since he was introduced 7 years ago. And he has not developed in any way
At all.
since. And I, for one...
And do not say that. Well, at the end of the, near the middle of the movie, he has to take care of the Mandalorian because the Mandalorian is unconscious. That does not really count, I'll be honest. That was the most boring sequence I've ever seen in my life. Respectfully.
I'm fucking sick of this baby. You can only get so much mileage out of this.
Cinnamon Sum, thank you for the sub popping.
In this movie, it's the same story.
Holden,
He does
did you
cute
crack the
shit
wampa?
And waddles
No.
around with the Babu Fricks. Speaking of the Babu Fricks, is this not just Minions? Is this not just Minions?
A horrible baby. A bad baby.
Anyway.
They were peak, though. I know Disney got me, okay, to be like, oh, look at these cute little... They are cute, though. They are funny, you know, with their little voice and their little... You know, I kind of rock with them, you know? It is kind of Disney slop, but at least they were kind of fun.
Anyway, Grogu is never in any danger, and then at the end, he closes his eyes and the music swells, and he uses his force power when all hope is lost to save the day. Maybe this would be cool if it was the first time we saw him using his force power, but it isn't. He's done this same shtick like 5+ times by this time already. When are we gonna move on from this? There's even a point in this movie when the Mandalorian gets injured. He gets poisoned by the dragon snake. Not that anything serious would ever happen, but for plot reasons, he gets momentarily incapacitated. So we get a section of this movie where we are only following Grogu. Except this isn't treated like a dramatic beat where Grogu has to grow up a little. It's just more scenes of Grogu being cute. He's so vulnerable here, we should be fearing for his life. But no, the only time he gets swallowed by like a giant frog, it's played for a comedic beat. He heals the Mandalorian because he meets some fish guy that somehow...
Again, Dave Filoni literally just trying to flex that he can make strange-looking aliens. I'm sorry. It's literally just Dave Filoni being like, look at this guy. Doesn't he look whack as fuck? Like, it's...
knows everything that's going on, and he just gives Grogu paste that just magically heals the Mandalorian.
Wow, did I crack Obi-Wan?
So
I mean, yeah.
And there's no emotion when he finally wakes up. He just says, this is the way, and we move on.
True.
And nothing. And then at the end of the movie, Sigourney Weaver and Dave Filoni fly in on their X-Wings and bomb the...
Yeah, Dave Filoni, he puts himself in the movie 2 times. With like, and the first shot... He has like a cowboy hat on, you know, that he always wears, and then he puts himself in this scene as well. It's kind of funny. I feel like 1 is understandable, 2 is kind of devious.
The Hutt's home, even though the villains are already dead. By the way, these twin Hutts are the main villains of this movie. They didn't even bother to name them. The only thing worth praising in this movie is the music.
I thought
the movie
they were
itself
okay
isn't doing
villains.
anything, but at least the music feels like it's trying to...
Because at least their, like, dialogue was decent. It, you know, like, I guess it could be worse. Again, my standards are low.
Do something new for Star Wars. Ludwig Göransson, in one single song, took a bigger
goat.
creative risk than the entirety of the rest of the movie combined. And it paid off. I'm surprised they even let him do that. You know what would have been a really good Mandalorian and Grogu movie? A movie with an actual villain played by someone like, I don't know, Giancarlo Esposito, and then the movie could have actual stakes and conflict and end on an emotional beat where Mando realizes that bounty hunting is no life for Grogu, so he makes the hard but necessary choice to let the child go off and be trained by Luke Skywalker. Then he takes his helmet off and he says goodbye. But oh wait, that already happened! And then they completely reversed it because these two were just too profitable.
That's literally all it is. It's all money, chat. They don't give a damn about the story. They want all the 9-year-old girls who don't watch Star Wars, who have started watching Star Wars because Baby Grogu is so cute, to buy the Baby Grogu plushies and have a little stuffed animal of Baby Yoda. Okay, that's what it's about. I'm sorry.
And now, there's nowhere for these characters to go. Okay, so I know the title of this YouTube video sounds dramatic, but it's really how I feel right now. I know people have been saying Star Wars is dying since like The Phantom Menace came out, but I've never felt this defeated, even after The Rise of Skywalker. And now, this is the guy
Rise of Skywalker's pretty bad.
Who's taking over the reins. It's funny because this is exactly what people have been begging for years.
At least we have Andor.
Down with Kathleen Kennedy. Put Dave Filoni in charge. Well, you got what you wanted? Kathleen Kennedy greenlit Andor.
So much aura.
Would Dave Filoni do that? In some ways, I wonder if Andor actually killed Star Wars.
Yeah, like, I will say that it does make sense they want money, but if you want money, just try to make The Mandalorian good. I mean, yeah, like, you want money, but, like, you're gonna make money if you just make a good movie. Like, The Mandalorian and Grogu, I don't think it did that well at the box office after the first, like, week or two. Like, if you make an actual good Star Wars movie, people will go. Like, you'll make money. I don't know.
By being so good that settling for the lesser
And if you want money, you should make Battlefront 3.
projects and waving it off like, well, at least we're getting Star Wars. We should be thankful. Just doesn't work anymore. Tony Gilroy proved that there is still life in this franchise. As long as you're an actual artist with a vision and a story to tell, damned what the fans think they want. And now that it's over, I just don't see a future in which we ever reach those heights again. I've just been feeling less and less like an actual fan of Star Wars for a while. After sitting through Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Acolyte.
The Cell, like, Book of Boba Fett, it was bad, it sucked. I get it. Like, I wish it was good. Same with The Acolyte. There were some redeeming things. In Obi-Wan's show, I feel like would be so easy to make well. Like, everyone wants to see Obi-Wan. Everyone wants to see Anakin and Vader. Like, the fact that you still sold the bag is crazy.
Ahsoka, Mando Season 3, miss after miss after miss. I thought, well, it doesn't matter because Star Wars is and always will be movies. So I'll see how I feel depending on how they make the return to the big screen. And if we're too scared to even give our main character a character trait, then it's not just bad, it's not even fun to talk about. And look, okay, I'm an unabashed lover of the prequels, alright? That's not to say that I'm a prequel defender. For some reason, a lot of people that like the prequels try to downplay or just discredit criticisms. No, all criticisms leveled at the prequels are pretty much all true. I just like watching them and talking about them despite all of that.
They have so much more character.
George Lucas took up the bat
What the hell was
and he
that?
took a massive swing. And he kind of whiffed. And arguably, Rian Johnson did the same thing with The Last Jedi.
True.
He took a big swing and he whiffed. Or you could say it was invalidated by Rise of Skywalker. But here, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau didn't take a swing. They were too scared to even pick up the bat. And the very next Star Wars movie is directed by Sean Levy. Kill me. So if this is the direction that Star Wars is now destined to head down, a permanent stasis where every interesting creative idea is sanded out and watered down to make the most non-provocative product with the hopes of dispelling any criticisms through sheer meaningless neutrality, then I don't know how
Vinny
much
again?
longer I
Oh,
can
hell
call
no.
myself a
Vinny's
fan of
frying.
Star Wars.
W video. I fully agree.